As a child, my dad would say, go out and play, because I didn't have any children my own age that were brothers and sisters. All I had was one sister, but she was 9.5 years older than me. And we don't get along. It's because, what do we have in common? We have nothing in common. She's my half-sister, as she would put it. But we come from the same mother. We have a different father. So, it's kind of broken in that area. So my dad would say, go out, make friends. Don't worry, if anything happens to you, you're going to go to heaven. And I'm like, yeah, really? Okay. Well, that gives me the courage to do whatever I want and be a daredevil, you know, and to make friends. Like when I made friends, I made friends. And when I made friends, you know, the least expected one you would think that is weak is actually the strongest. They're strongest, maybe not with their dukes, but they're strongest with their heart. Because these are the ones that can forgive. And we don't understand that. But once you understand what forgiveness is, oh man, you know, you'll hold on to that. But if you don't have God and you don't have the right people teaching you how to live right, you're going to end up doing things backwards. Because good is bad and bad is good. But I make more friends if I'm bad and a daredevil. Because people look for that. We look for that all the time. Can I trust you? Can I trust you? Can I trust you? Yes, you could trust me. So we test each other. And we're mean to each other. And we hurt each other. With violence. With our words. Promising to do something and we don't do it. A promise breaker. Nobody likes a promise breaker. Growing up, you always expect your parents to give you what you want. You gotta trust their word because they're your parents. They put a roof over your head. They give you clothes. They feed you. They give you money. They take you places. To the movies, you know, to the park, to picnics and all that. That's growing up in a family. But I didn't really get that. Maybe a couple of times my mom would take me out to the theater. My dad was an alcoholic and he liked to drink. And he would take me to the movies and he would fall asleep in the theater. You know, that really sucks. You know, I'm going out with my dad. You know, I looked up to him. I loved him. He's gone now. God rest his soul. We hold on to things that we don't talk about. And if we don't talk about it, we're not going to get healed. But once we get to know who Jesus is and we accept him by faith in our heart, now we could speak to God quietly in our heart, in our mind. And he's there. But the scriptures come to life when we read them and we get into the book. It's not just a book. That is a manual for everyday living. We learn from people's mistakes. And if we don't learn from other people's mistakes, we're bound to repeat the cycle. But Jesus said in our heart, if we hate our brother, we're guilty of murder. If we look on to another woman with lustful thoughts, we commit adultery with her in our heart. So, if you want to be sacrilegious, Jesus said, if you break the least of these laws, you're guilty of them all. And there's so many man-made laws and man-made religion that it doesn't work. We can't go on and be religious and then leave the place of worship and then go out and party like there's no tomorrow. The Bible says don't get drunk. That means don't get drunk on alcohol. Don't get drunk on wine. It's a debauchery to the Lord. And whoever drinks strong drink, they're going to get, we're going to end up getting rowdy. Because as soon as a person blacks out on fire water for the natives, that's what we call it. We call it fire water. Why? Because it leads people straight to hell. I used to drink, I used to party when I was a kid, yeah. But I didn't follow God. I didn't take an ear to Him until people started dying around me.